Good afternoon, parents. So today I will explain IDEA and the IEP. So IDEA basically stands for an Individuals with Disability Education Act. It is a law that supports students with disabilities, and the purpose of it is to allow students with disabilities to receive educational services and related services from public schools. There are 12 key components of IDEA. The number one is that it is free appropriate public education, also known as FAPE. And FAPE simply means that education and related services will be provided to students with disabilities at no cost to the parents. According to IDEA, FAPE means free. The F stands for free, without charge. The A stands for appropriate, which is individualized educational program. P stands for public, which means it is at the expense of the public. E stands for education, which is from preschool to secondary or high school. Number two, another component of IDEA is the least restrictive environment, or LRE. Students with disabilities are provided education in the least appropriate environment, which means that they will be with non-disabled peers at the most appropriate level. Another part of IDEA is the referral process. The referral process is when a request is made to the school to request evaluation, or the school may ask the parent to give consent to an evaluation. It is a written request asking for evaluations to be completed on a student. Another part of that is the evaluation process. The purpose of the evaluation process is to determine if a child has possible disabilities. Information will be gathered to help guide the decision that is appropriate for the child. The parent must give consent to have evaluations completed, and the entire process must be completed within 60 days. The type of tests or assessments that are needed is basically based on the need of the child. Another part of the IDEA is the eligibility determination. Once the child has been evaluated, then the next step is to determine eligibility. The parent will be provided a copy of all evaluations that were completed. A meeting will be held to discuss the evaluation. The team may not determine that a child is eligible if the determinant factor for making that judgment is the child's lack of instruction in reading, or lack of instruction in math, or the limited English proficiency. The evaluation results must indicate that the child meets the definition of one or more disabilities listed under IDEA, and the needs needs special education services or related services. These results will be used. The results from the assessments will be used to help guide the IEP. Okay, so the IEP components. The IEP basically will include measurable annual goals for the child. It will include special education related services and supplementary aids and services that are needed to provide the best appropriate education for the child with disabilities. The components include present levels, annual goals, short-term objectives, measurements for reporting progress, statement of special education and related services that will be provided, supplementary aids and services that are needed, accommodations, modifications, service delivery, how often or where the services will be given, the transitional planning for life after secondary school. The parent and the student is also a part of the IEP. So the parents and the student are expected to have decisions made on the IEP. The IEP is expected to have quarterly progress monitoring. So the parents should be given the status of their child's progress towards meeting their goals. Usually, progress monitor is given to parents quarterly within an IEP year. The IEP is both a document and process. It's a meeting that must be held at least once a year, and it review the progress and update goals for the next year's IEP. Procedure safeguards. Procedure safeguards are given to parents once a year. The procedure safeguards inform parents of their rights and protections that they have under IDEA, the law. Parents must be given prior written notice and from the school each time the school chooses to take actions or refuse to take actions in reference to their child. Prior written notice is a mode of communication between parents and the school. Last but not least, related services. Related services are the extra help for children with disabilities by giving them access to extra support in areas like speech or occupational therapy. So this concludes the different components or different parts in the IDEA, in the IEP, and the breakdown of IDEA in the law.